I'm Jessica Denson, host of Lights On with Jessica Denson. What the hell is any lawmaker doing if they are not calling for the immediate removal of this criminal administration? They are literally deporting people to concentration camps, death camps in El Salvador. I'm going to read to you the definition from the U.S. Holocaust Museum of a concentration camp. It says, what distinguishes a concentration camp from a prison in the modern sense is that it functions outside of a judicial system. The prisoners are not indicted or convicted of any crime by judicial process. That is what the people sitting in CICAT in El Salvador have gone through. No judicial process. That is what Kilmar Abrego Garcia is going through. It is what numerous people who this administration has illegally abducted off of our streets and sent there are going through. And right now, our courts are not enforcing the blatant violation of their orders that is going on by the Trump administration. Granted, there is progress. Granted, Judge Zinnes just today said in her courtroom there will be no tolerance for gamesmanship or grandstanding. To date, what the record shows is that nothing has been done, nothing from this administration to comply with the court orders to return this man where he was illegally and wrongfully deported. Nothing has been done. She says there will be no grandstanding, but has not yet held this administration in contempt, has not yet said, and has said that she doesn't see herself going so far as to require that the El Salvador government return him. What world is this? We are truly living in a fascist takeover of the United States by a criminal, illegal administration that likely did not even win an election. We damn well need to be very serious in pressuring to the most powerful extent possible in peaceful means our lawmakers to take their stand properly. I'm so grateful to be joined by one of my best allies in this fight. You know him, comedian Cliff Cash. He's so much more than that. Cliff, welcome back to Lights On.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So here you are on the road, which speaks to the way that you are in this fight. You are just constantly on the move and taking action in spite of your life and your work going on. And you have a new call to action, I know, for Friday. So first, tell me what's on your mind. Tell me whatever you want to talk about, Cliff.
So in case anyone watching doesn't know me, I'm a stand-up comedian. This is my van that I tour in. It's my temporary home when I'm on the road. It's not something I have to do, but it's every night that I can spend in this van, I can save however much money per night on a hotel. And I'm kind of a nature nerd, so I like to go out and camp. I like being out in the woods, so I'm going kayaking in the morning. But yeah, in between comedy, as I tour, I do all my political stuff during the day. I was at the April 5th protest. I joined folks in Tampa. It was incredible. It was a massive crowd in Tampa. It was kind of mind blowing. And I'm working on a lot of different stuff. I won't have time to tell you about all of it, but I'd love to come back and tell you. But the main thing I think really needs to happen right now is Congress needs to hear from the citizens. And I know that people have been doing that. Obviously, I'm not the first person to think of this. But what I really think is powerful right now, they're going to be in recess. I realize it's Easter weekend, but I'm encouraging people to go to the offices, your local state offices of your Congress people on Friday. I've got 3. If you go to my Facebook, Cliff Cash Comedy, I've got 3 websites there that you can use to find these people's offices. So some of these people will have multiple offices per state. Some of them will be in the state capitals. Some will be in their districts. Lindsey Graham, for example, has one in upstate South Carolina, one in the Low Country, and one in the capital. So everybody's different. But I think it's important to go to their offices and grab a group of friends. Carpool, go have lunch. If you can get 10 people together, get 10 people. If 10 groups in every town can get 10 people, they need to feel pressure. The bottom line is they need to feel pressure from the American people. And so our little project right now is I want you to get them on film with your camera.
Yes,
and
you must
say, I'm asking you, will you uphold the First Amendment? Will you draw a line in the sand saying that's your line? If the government starts trying to quash American citizens' First Amendment rights, that's your line in the sand. And we need to get you on recording saying that. And if they won't go on a recording saying that, then that says everything. So we're using hashtag show us the line, and just pushing people to show up and hold them accountable and talk to them about whatever topic is the most heavy on your heart. I mean, obviously these kidnappings, and sending people to concentration camps, cutting Social Security by half, which will inevitably crash it. Um, I mean, my mom is 79 and has dementia. Her sole income is Social Security that her and my father paid into their entire lives. And luckily
Yeah, they're
she's got,
currently declaring people dead who are
oh yeah,
alive to deprive them of their Social Security payments.
yeah. So, there are 73 million people dependent on, is that the right number? Anyway,
A lot.
maybe it's 27 million. Anyway, there's so many numbers in my head from all of this. But tens of millions of people
Yeah,
depending solely on Social Security
yeah.
to have food and live indoors. And so when that goes away, so is their capability to eat food and live indoors. I mean, it is going to be catastrophic for human beings, most importantly. But if you happen to be a greedy piece of trash and you only care about economics, it's going to be catastrophic for the economy, which will be catastrophic for the global economy. So at the end of the day, everyone has to think, why would anybody do this? Why would anybody do all these things that hurt this country so much? Who benefits from this? And the answer is only our biggest enemies benefit from this. So why is this president doing things that only benefit our biggest enemies? And the answer, in my humble opinion, is that he's a Russian asset, and he always has been. And we need to get him out of office like yesterday. We don't need to talk about it. We
No.
don't need to. We don't need to make sure we have permitted protest where we all get together in the park and talk to each other, and nobody sees us or talks about it. 5 million people need to go to Washington D.C. and surround the White House.
Yeah.
We need to remove him from office. And the people who still have the power to do something, whoever they are,
The people
wherever
who
they
have the
are.
power to keep this peaceful and to keep violence from happening in this country, and none of us are ever advocating for violence. The most effective way is through peaceful revolution, and we must claim our power. It is ours to have. This is a blatant assault on us all. But right now, and this is what I tried to, I literally did a speech and I said, if this doesn't happen peacefully at our organized event together, by the way, 314, Cliff and I here organized that massive march on the mall that was one of the largest until the more recent ones. And I said in my speech, there will be violence if this doesn't happen. That wasn't a threat
Oh,
from
100%. Of
me. That wasn't a threat
course.
from me.
Of
That was
course. It's
putting these lawmakers on notice that they are literally what is standing between us and a civil war. And their unwillingness to take action right now is putting us all in danger.
Yep. I've said it too. The people that have the power to remove him, whether that's the upper echelon of military intelligence, even whatever, our NATO allies, there are powerful, connected people in this country that still have a lot of political capital. And either you guys need to do your jobs and get him out, or the American people will, and that will be 1,000 times messier. So whatever mess you think you might create by doing what you should have already done, I assure you, if the American people have to do it, it will be way, way messier and more complicated.
Well,
Um,
listen, Cliff, you've been such an advocate for veterans in the military and getting that constituency involved in this fight. And it's been so beautiful to see how much of that community is genuinely on our side and on the side of the Constitution and democracy, and not a friggin' Russian asset who dodged the military. But I think there are means. There are means. I mean, this man has committed treason, I believe, on so many levels.
oh, every day.
These military officers, and I know he has tried to replace and root out the top brass so they're loyal to him, but anybody in that military needs to understand they took an oath to defend this Constitution against enemies, foreign and domestic, and we are dealing with a domestic enemy, a domestic terrorist, mind you, who is classifying peaceful protesters, people who protest against genocide in this country. He's classifying those people as terrorists. He is a terrorist. Bukele is a terrorist. Netanyahu, Putin, Hamas, this is the terrorist club, and it's currently overtaking the free world via the United States government. It is an emergency to act now.
Yes, absolutely. And that's, it's like these people that are still on the Trump train. It's like what needs to happen for you? The only countries that we're on good terms with are uh, you know, El Salvador and Russia and Hungary and North Korea, literally the shittiest economies on earth, the lowest quality of living for their citizens on earth, the least respected, the least revered, the least well thought of. And it's like,
Yeah, where their citizens are suffering, where they're like, let's be clear, they're citizens who maybe, I mean, maybe not North Korea. It's been many years for those poor starving people, but Hungary, somebody like Orban came to power in a pseudo populist manner, much like Trump. And these people, their economy is suffering, their civil rights are disappearing. This equation will turn on you. Like I always tell these people, I always tell them, just wait, you're next. Then they came for me. That moment is coming for you.
and honestly, as much as I don't want to see that happen, maybe that'll help. Maybe that'll give enough people the nudge that they join up, and then it's just like the whole population against Donald Trump and Stephen Miller. Like, hope you boys can run fast. Um, and as it's same thing with veterans. Like, I hate to see everything that's happening to these veterans, but then at the same time, I'm like, okay, buddy, keep pissing off veterans. Let me know how that works out for you. Keep pissing
Yeah.
off all these brave combat veterans. Keep taking away their benefits and letting them know that you think nothing of them. Keep doing that.
Yeah.
Like as much as I hate to see it happen to them, I'm like, you're just poking a hornet's nest. And if you think
Yeah.
it's going to work out for you, well, you're even dumber than you look, and you're with your horsetail hair and your dirty diaper. Um, yeah, it's
Yeah. And
shocking.
you posted something this week, and I just want to talk about that because you're talking about like veterans getting upset. And I just know, like, first of all, the election was not fair and he didn't legitimately win it. Number one. Number
And
two, so many people from so many different constituencies, demographics, veterans, all different kinds of groups are on the right side. And you posted something earlier this week that was like, you have to change your mindset. You have to change your mindset. And that's really what this all is. Like this is and
Mhm.
their ability to execute on this illegal power they have is because we are allowing them to. We are
Yeah.
accepting this as normal. We are thinking that we do not have the means to change it. And it's just a lie and an illusion. And you got to friggin' mentally overcome that lie and illusion and get yourself in this space where Cliff and I am. And by the way, I just want to you are looking, I'm going to tell you folks, you are looking at two of the most active people right now in trying to change what we're doing. Him and I, Cliff and I, with another small but powerful resolve group stood in the bitter cold in January to stop this before it was happening because it's a complete blatant violation of our Constitution. And we have not stopped calling people to the streets yet. Right now is the time to be more bold, to be more brave. As they are threatening you, this is not the time to retreat like these pussy ass law firms that are contributing to, that should be like they're the people that are hung at Nuremberg at the end of this story. Okay, this is the time to be like Cliff and I, to get more brave, to say, oh, you want to scare me? Try to scare me. And your fearlessness, especially right now, is what stops this. So the more they try to scare you, the more you got to say, I'm not afraid, not on my watch. I have the power.
One of the quotes that I don't know, it just kind of popped into my head during a speech at some point, and I've just been repeating it over and over, not because I'm running out of stuff to say, because I just want everybody to hear it as often as possible. And it's fascist feed on fear, and it's time to starve them.
Yeah.
And if it's just me and Jessica and 100 other people speaking out publicly with big numbers on social media, it's pretty easy to round up 100 of us. It's real hard to round up 1 million of us. It's real hard to stop 5 million of us in DC. The more of us there are, the safer we are. And really, the louder and more public you are, the safer you are. And people keep saying that they're like worried about my well-being, and I'm like, well, I can tell you, if something happens to me,
You're
I
going to
can tell you
know.
at least 500,000 people are going to be pretty fucking pissed off about it, and
Exactly.
they're going to all tell 10 people a piece. So that's
Yeah.
going to turn into 5 million pretty fast. Um, so, you know, and at the same time, people will go, "You need to be safe," and I think to myself, they need to be safe.
Yeah.
So there are days when I wake up and say, "I hope somebody tries to come get me today," because I am full of righteous rage, and it will either be somebody's last day or their worst day. I promise.
Yeah. Yeah, Cliff, courage is my armor, and I've been using it for years. And I, like I tell this story to my viewers all the time, I moved forward with the right direction, like the divine guidance years ago, and I have trusted that that truth is my shield.
Yep.
Spiritual warfare, folks, the real spiritual warfare, not the blasphemous version they try to sell with AR-15s.
Right.
That's the protection. It's a real thing. But I want to take this full circle to Congress. You're sitting in a national park. One of the less reported stories I was talking to Cliff about before we press record is how, you know, Trump is using these pseudo national emergencies to write these illegal executive orders. One of them purports to eliminate 70% of our national parks or open them up to logging and deforestation. So if you like at any point to go to a national park, not to mention the, you know, climate emergency that this would create, just want to tell people this is being done under the USDA, head of the USDA, woman named Brooke Rollins. Brooke Rollins, head of America First Policy Institute before this. America First Policy Institute. You know, Cliff has been showing up at the Heritage Foundation. This is the rival, but just as sinister organization to Heritage Foundation.
And
America
lesser
First,
known.
and lesser known. This woman is a climate denier. She's a conspiracy theorist. She is married to a man who sits at the top of 2 major oil companies. Here's a little known fact. Google Brooke Rollins confirmation. 72 senators voted to confirm this woman. 72. You know the math. That's probably about half of the Democrats in the Senate voted to confirm this woman. What the hell are these people doing? What the hell are they doing? When you show up with your camera, record your interaction, be peaceful, but be emphatic, put these people on record. I particularly want to make my call to action for you on Friday, and it's always my call on this show, to demand that these people use every constitutional means to remove him. There are 2 very viable paths right now. One is by calling for an amnesty vote in either house, but particularly in the Senate, because Donald Trump remains disqualified, and bringing up the issue of amnesty under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment because of his status as adjudicated insurrectionist brings the entire conversation, national conversation about his illegal presidency into focus. Any Democrat could do that. And the other one is impeachment. And this is gaining steam. Representative Al Green was standing alone. He's not standing alone so far. I see Becca Balance, Susan Bonamici, who I've criticized in the past on Section 3, but good progress here. Maxine Dexter, Dwight Evans, Al Green, Henry Johnson, Tam Liccardo, Ilhan Omar, Shri Tanadar, Rashida Tlaib, and Maxine Waters are all backing Representative Al Green on his articles of impeachment. If you didn't hear that name, and your representative was not just named, ask them what the hell is going on. Will you go on record now to back and join Representative Al Green when he brings up his articles of impeachment?
100%. And lastly, I just want to say again, you can find all this on my pages, Cliff Cash Comedy. I think I have the video on every platform. I definitely have it on Facebook and Instagram. I just put the flyer on Blue Sky. We also have a little script that you can say exactly, you know, if you don't know what to say, we're telling you exactly what to say, the hashtag, the whole deal. And just lastly, I know we got to get off soon. I want to say what Jessica just said: be peaceful and be lawful, but be pissed off and let them know that you're pissed off, and be loud and be incessant. And the real message at the end of the day that they need to know is, if you let a dictator topple our democracy, you will have to answer to the American people. We are going to make sure that you're going to have to answer to us. We are going to hold you accountable. And that needs to be the energy going forward in regards to Congress.
Yes.
We need to mail them postcards. We need to call them. We need to show up at their office, and we need to say, hey, if you keep backing down from this dude and you keep letting them just destroy our Constitution and our democratic republic, we're going to hold you accountable.
Yeah. Yep. This is on you. This is on you.
Yeah.
Going down with a cord of steel and for all of history, as Adam Schiff so nicely put it.
Yeah.
My friend Cliff Cash, such a pleasure to be in this fight with you. I'm so glad to know you.
Likewise.
Thanks, my friend. DonaldLovesVladimir.com, still
Oh
active
yeah,
site.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
DonaldLovesVladimir.com is as far as I know, the most comprehensive body of information anywhere linking Trump to Putin. And it's not my journalism. It's a place where I've compiled everyone else's journalism, every book, every documentary, every podcast, every article. DonaldLovesVladimir.com.
Yeah, and also our website, nowmarch.org, will tell you everything about the 14th Now movement, why Trump is disqualified. Go to that legal authority page. Thanks, everybody, as always, for joining us. Thanks for joining us tonight on the special episode of Lights On. Please subscribe to the Jessica Denson YouTube channel and find everything about me at thejessicadenson.com. As always, have a wonderful day, night. Let your light shine.